Welcome to Sideline Savants, a fantasy football podcast dedicated to helping you set your lineups, navigate the waiver wire, prepare for bye weeks, strategically plan trades, and ultimately win your matchup. Do you have what it takes to become a sideline savant? Yes, indeed. Here we go. Back again. Week 3 in the books, going into week 4. And I am blessed again to have my man, Mr. Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty. Thank you so much for being here on the show. We're going to get into some stuff here together. But of course, guys, first things first, hit that like and subscribe button, man. Join the Boom Broadcasting bandwagon. We got a lot of great content providers, a lot of great content going out here. We're trying to hit that 600 right now. So help us get to 600. So share it with your friends, share it with your family, shout it out, tell the neighbors, whoever you got. If you're in the line at the supermarket, let them know. Boom Broadcasting. Get on it. So, Mr. Smitty, we just finished week 3 here in fantasy football in the NFL. A lot of craziness going on. Of course, we still got injuries going on. We've had some weird upsets and some weird games. So just, how did your weekend go, man? What, you got any good wins, any tough losses? How did your fantasy weekend go?
Man, my guys did not miss this weekend. 192 points.
Woo!
Commanding win. By the way, former host of this show was who I played this week, and that is Wayne, the model / the Commissioner Thomas. He tore me up last year. He torched me in the first game. I had to torch him right back, and you know what? I got to give it to him. I love you. I love you. I love you, Wayne. I love your family and all that other stuff. But I had to cut you this week right here, baby. So I'm glad I was able to do so. With most of your Ravens guys, too. With most of his Ravens guys on top of that. I had most of his Ravens in there. And it
That
torched
makes it
them.
worse. That makes it worse. Insult to injury. Bad enough to
Yes.
lose, but you're
Yes.
trying to cheer for your squad, and they just come out and beat you up. So
Tear 'em
that's
up, man.
awesome, man.
I
Hey,
love it.
take them wins in fantasy football. Now, I had some pretty decent wins. I had some rough losses too, but we deal with that. We you know how that goes. But I want to show this here real quick. I had one. Let me go here. There it is. I have a fantasy football league where I'm the commissioner of it, and it's called Sideline Savants. And it's actually where I got the name of the show from my fantasy football league. So I had a nice little matchup this weekend, and man, I tell you what, this gentleman had Lamar Jackson in on Monday night, and needless to say, as you can see, I'm over here commish of this stuff, the commish with that 100%. Needless to say, it was very, very close game. So at the end of that game, I was kind of just, biting my nails, hoping that he wouldn't get another point. So, I mean, guys, we have all been there. If you're in fantasy football, you have been on both sides of this coin, and it is the thrill of agony, the thrill of victory. And man, I can't even say it right because that's how weird it is. It's the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I got to get it out because it was, man. I tell you what, man, it was a rough evening on Monday night watching this game because I just saw his points creeping up. Mine just kind of stayed the same, and you get that win by less than a point. It feels good. But on the other side of the coin, man, we've all been there. You're just hoping for that stat correction to like, man, just give me, I just need a half a point. Oh, it was so close. So shout out. That's Team Montauk Makos. I ended up getting the victory, going to 2-1 in that league. But man, I just wanted to show that because I know we've all been there. And guys, if you have been there, let me know what your thoughts are and feelings are. Don't be afraid to drop me a comment. I know we have all been there before where, man, you have a rough week and yeah, you lose by that 1 point, man, and that's always tough. But we've also had some great performances this week. So, Mr. Smitty, I always got to ask first things first, man. Uh, Give me your stud muffin of the week, man. Who was the guy that just rocked it out for you and you were just man crushing big time on?
for the second week in a row. I don't know what has gotten into this man, but I pray to God it does not stop. Jonathan Taylor, 32 points. He killed it this week.
Yes.
102 yards. He was in the end zone. My man was doing everything, getting it done for once again them 3-0 Colts with Indiana Jones at the quarterback. My man's been running the football the whole time, been killing it on the offense, man. Jonathan Taylor, keep it going for me right there, baby. Keep going.
Man, I tell you what, it's weird to say the first place Indianapolis Colts. It's weird to say that they've only punted the ball one time in 3
Once.
games, and no other team in NFL history has ever did that. And what makes it even worse is that Daniel Jones is the quarterback. And we'll get into some quarterback news here in a little bit, but it's them Colts, man. I tell you what, they are riding something magical right now. And
Absolutely.
Jonathan Taylor ain't no joke. He is having himself a ball out season so far. Anybody else you want to talk about?
I also had David Montgomery handle biz as well too in the late game of on Monday night. And that was a game and a half. It was offense all over the place, man. Them guys was balling
Yeah.
the whole time. He had 29 in the game. And with him splitting carries with Jahmyr Gibbs, I know that some of y'all probably raised eyebrows when we did the draft and you were like, you drafted this guy? And I'm like, yes, I drafted this guy because I think that offense is going to be still in full effect. They run the football very, very well. I know Gibbs can't run and carry the ball the whole time, so they got handed to Montgomery. And when they did hand it to him, it was just like, man, every time he was in the end zone when they handed it to him, it was firepower all day long. My man was gunning just like Jonathan Taylor was. So
Yeah.
yes.
I like it. I mean, that Detroit Lions offense, I don't think there's anybody that has, even if I'm thinking even history, a two-headed monster at running back in fantasy football like these guys have, because you have Gibbs, that got you almost 27 points, who was on my fantasy, who I love. But you talk about that Montgomery breaking one for 72 yards, and he got himself a score too. I mean, so you talk about 2 running backs that can total 50 points for you. So, like, even if you drafted both of these guys and put them both in the starting lineup, you're going to get points. Like, it is crazy. Tampa Bay kind of gets there a little bit with Bucky Irvin and White. There's a few other teams that may, have a little bit of a double duty, but there's not very many. It's one, RB1, and then that's it. So, yeah, shout out to those Detroit line and running backs, man, and to the offensive coordinator. Because in fantasy football, I don't think we give enough love to the offensive coordinators out there. Because, like, hand my guy the ball, I'm gonna be happy about it. If you don't, we're gonna have some problems. So, uh, them coordinators, man, just keep feeding both those guys the ball, because there's a lot of fantasy owners out there that loving it. My big guy of the weekend was a shock, because I don't think, guys, drop me a comment. I want to know if you honestly had this guy in your starting lineup, because every league I'm in, this dude was either on the bench or wasn't even picked. So, my man Trey Tucker,
Whew.
over 40 points for
Whew.
the Raiders in a
Whew.
loss. Unfortunately, they did lose, but man, you talk about just a booming performance out of nowhere. Will he repeat it? I mean, what do you thought? What are your thoughts, Smitty? Do you think he can repeat it?
He can't repeat 40 points. I think he'll probably get close, especially with the way that offense is going, because I mean, the the Raiders are throwing the ball. Like, it is insane how the Raiders are throwing the ball. Geno Smith must have got his game. Dave Canales must have handled this biz, reteaching him the
Yeah.
quarterback position, or he might have just went back to Krista Lucas alma mater in West Virginia and done his thing. I don't know what he done, but this is not the
Yeah.
Jets. Geno Smith, he is my cousin and
No.
all. I'm joking. He's really not. But the thing about it is, though, he's been handling biz. So I'm like, I don't know if he'll get close to 40 again. But I mean, I don't know if he'll get 40, but he'll probably get close with the way that offense is running.
I don't know, but again, guys, I want to know honestly, anybody out there who had him in your starting lineup, or let me know if you had him on your bench. Because again, if you win and your guy on your bench drops 40, you're kind of angry, but you feel okay. But when you lose and the guy on the bench drops 40,
That's
you
a
are
crack out.
you are salty all week, dude. I mean, it is like you are angry from the end of Monday Night Football till the next Sunday, and hopefully you win that following week because then it takes a little bit of the sting off. But if it doesn't, you hate yourself. But man, yeah, what a unbelievable performance. I've never really seen anything like that. Out of, I don't want to say a no name, but some guy you wouldn't think of being in your starting lineup. That guy just, man, like that's a Jamar Chase kind of performance, a St. Brown kind of performance, CD Lamb. So, I mean, that was crazy. So, man, what an insane weekend of football. I love it. But we have some other stuff to discuss here, Mr. Smitty, and I'm going to throw some stuff at you here because we're going to be buying and selling right now. I got some questions, some hard hitting questions I want to ask you, and you need to let me know if you're buying it or you're selling it. You ain't messing with it. So, first things first, we had an AJ Brown sighting. He got off the milk carton and came out of nowhere. Had 22 points, 109 yards, had a touchdown. Actually found the end zone. He had 10 targets. So, like, he actually showed up. He was there. Like, there's proof that AJ Brown was on the field this weekend. Is he back, or is this just a Bigfoot sighting and he's going to go back to disappearing again? What are your thoughts on that?
Man, right now I gotta sell it because I mean
Ooh.
I gotta sell it because I mean I'm on the edge of it, not because they're not gonna employ him in the offense. But as far as getting numbers like that again, I doubt it because I think that Jalen Hurts is going to start spreading the ball around a little more. Devonta Smith is going to get up in there. You're going to get Gobert in there. You're going to get Goddard in there. Goddard. Sorry about that. I can't get his name right. You're going to get him
That's right.
involved. You're going to get him in there. But AJ will be fine. But as far as these numbers like this, I seriously doubt it. You still got Saquon Barkley in the backfield. There's still more. He's going to be tush pushing still. There's going to be ways he's going to get into the end zone. And A.J. Brown might not be the integral part. But isn't it kind of weird how they had to, like, just get into him, had to dig into him. And for anything to happen, like, when this was going on and nobody said a word, it was like, status quo, we're good. But then all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, he ain't doing anything. He ain't doing this. Say his name. And then, he's like Candyman, his name in your mouth and he shows up. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you got to talk this man up to do this? I don't like
AJ,
that at all.
AJ Brown, AJ Brown, AJ Brown is like Beetlejuice has him three times. What I found interesting, and I'm buying it because I think the biggest issue was the criticism that Hurts was getting that he can't
Yes.
throw the football. So I
Yes.
think that kind of dug at them. I think that dug at that team. Look, I love it when teams get the run. I like a mobile quarterback to a point, but
Mhm.
this is a long season. 17-game season. You
Right.
need your quarterback healthy, and Hurts has been hurt before.
Yes.
So, you got to get him to throw the ball down the field. You got playmakers for a reason. So I'm buying it. I think A.J. Brown is back. He may have a couple more boom games. I know he has to spread the ball around, but you saw the strength and the athleticism of Mr. A.J. Brown in some of those catches and some of those plays he was making. So I think that's just a reminder, like as a wake up call for the Philadelphia Eagles in that offense of, man, all right, yeah, we forgot this guy's a beast and he can catch the ball. So, fantasy football, I think he's back. We'll see. Yeah, I'm a little skeptical too. I like to see, once is something, twice is a trend. So let's see if he can
Yes.
continue to trend. So that's interesting. Very,
Mhm.
very interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. All right. There was also some performances this weekend by some wide receivers. Actually, not just even this weekend to start off the season that have been suspect. Right now, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas Jr., Lad McConkey, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake London, all underperforming right now when it comes to fantasy football. They're out there, but they're not really doing anything. Jamar had one big game, but other than that, of course, without having Burrow, that really, really hurts his value. Um, is it time to start moving? So if you got one of these guys on your squad, do you buy or sell trading them away and getting some other value for them, or do you stick with them and just say, "Look, I'm gonna ride you all year long"?
Now, the ones I'm buying to keep are Lad McConkey, and that's him. That's it. That's the only one I'm buying
Really?
that you
Wow.
keep. That's the only one
Wow.
I'm buying because the reason why is because look at his quarterback. Justin Herbert's handling biz. He's doing his thing. He's handling
Yeah.
biz. The other guys, I'm saying sell them because look at their quarterbacks. I mean, you look at Jamar Chase. He's got Browning. Good luck with that, dude. They're going to end up getting another quarterback. They're going to have to because I mean, my man got destroyed. Like it was painful watching that man just come apart at the
Yeah.
seams. And it wasn't just him, it was the whole offense. And that was mainly what it is. But when you pay one side of the ball and that's what you do, then this is what's going to happen to you. You
Right.
pay the receivers, your quarterback, but don't pay your offensive line and you don't pay your
Whew.
defense. And look what happens in
Mhm.
Minnesota. Oh my God. Like Minnesota took everything away from them, took their whole cornbread and the collards and everything, took it all.
Eating.
And it was so
Eating.
bad.
Whew.
Like it was like watching middle school. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, man. This is so bad. Like mercy rules, something. Can we get softball in there and say no mercy rule? This is
Right.
bad. So I would have to say trade Jamar Chase, trade Brian Thomas Jr. because until Trevor Lawrence shows me that he's earned his money, trade everybody. So don't do that. Kyler Murray, I was never high on that dude. And it's not because I'm a
No.
49ers fan. It's not because of that. I'm getting the
Yeah.
biases out of the way. I got Devontae Adams on my team, so that's enough bias right there for you to say. But I'm not high on these quarterbacks, the way these quarterbacks are playing. The only quarterback that we've got that's kind of proven himself, and this is kind of a stretch, is Justin Herbert. So that's why I'm saying hold on to Lad, because I think Lad will be fine. I think this was a lapse of a week. I think it's okay. But the other guys, I'm saying get rid of them. Get you some pieces, get you some running backs, get you with defense. For the love of God, get you with somebody who can kick the ball. Because I mean, this is what you're gonna have. This is it.
That's interesting. That's very interesting, and I'm kind of right there with you. This is time to get these guys and get yourself a number one running back. If you're in a dynasty league, maybe get yourself some pieces and some draft picks. But I think it is time to move on, especially if you're in a standard league, from these guys. Brian Thomas Jr. has completely fallen off the map. That offense, I don't know what they're doing there in Duval. Um, that offense, one week they're running it and they look decent. The next week they look terrible. But there's no consistency right now in the passing game. So that's interesting there. Jamar Chase, yeah, man, Browning ain't it. I think you need to call. I think you could need to call New York up and see if you're done with Russ. Maybe we can take him a little bit. Maybe we can get one of them 450-yard performances out of him. Marvin Harrison Jr. and then again disappearing. Kyler Murray. He needs to stop running around. God, he looks terrible. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
you would think after X amount of years in the league now, he would have kind of learned how to play the game. And you go out there and you watch it, and he's got McBride, he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. Unfortunately, he lost Connor, but he still has some backup running backs. But man, stop running around. I mean, that offensive play calling is absolutely atrocious. You have a stud wide receiver.
Yes.
He's barely seeing the ball. And then Drake London, man. We'll get into the next question here because I got some thoughts about that. But man, I
Oh
was
yeah.
completely wrong about the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm not afraid to admit it,
Woo-hoo!
guys. I was really, really high on them. I was thinking they're going to win the South. I even put them in the damn Super Bowl, and I feel like a schmuck right now that I did that because that Atlanta Falcons team looks horrendous. They still
Ugh.
don't know. I've never seen anything like it. You have an all-world running back in Bijan Robinson, and you don't know how to use them. Like I've never seen that before. Like you guys, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But I don't know what the Falcons are doing. But they're not passing the ball. They're not using the run game very well. I thought that defense would be better, but that defense is not because the offense is terrible. The defense is always out there. So I agree with you. I mean, I like Lad the Impaler is my dude, but yeah, it's time. It's time to get those guys and move them on, man. That is for sure. So I agree with that. This next question I love because again, man crushing big time on someone, but Mbuka over in Tampa has become a sensation. He makes some of the best catches and hardest catches look easy. Just one hand, I'm grabbing it. I love the interaction with him and Baker. I don't know if anybody saw the clip where Baker yelled at him, hey, don't disrespect my passes, catch them with two hands, Rook. I mean, I thought that's classic basic Baker Mayfield. But man, okay, Mbuka, but now you got Mike Evans hurt. He's going to be out 2-3 weeks, which is kind of expected because that's kind of Mike Evans' thing right now as he gets a little bit older. Look, Hall of Famer, no
Oh yeah.
doubt. He's
Oh
won
yeah.
me championships. So love
Yes.
me some Evans. But is Mbuka the number one wide receiver in Tampa Bay now?
Absolutely, I'm buying this. I mean, I was about to give everybody bad advice and say, sit that man. I was like,
Ooh.
whoa. I was
Oh,
like,
I had
no.
to call a timeout on that.
I was
Oof.
like, no. And I
Oh
looked at
yeah.
him again because I thought he was banged up. I thought he was kind of hurt because they said he was favoring an injury
Yeah.
into that game, but you couldn't tell. I mean, you could not tell. And I had to look at
Yeah.
those highlights again, and I looked at those highlights again. I said, nah, you better not sit that man. That man is too good. And so,
He
yes,
is.
absolutely. I'm buying him all day long, probably offensive rookie of the year. He was no slouch, of course, in college. Of course, he was no slouch.
Right.
He's at the new wide receiver. He went to the new wide receiver U, and so of course, and I mean they're putting out wide receivers. Them it's Ohio State and LSU that are putting out receivers. It seems like every year, and you never
Yep.
and you look at these guys and you're just like, man. I mean, were they really that good in college? And then they go to the pro game and they just absolutely dazzle. And so, yes, I mean, I would have to say I'm buying him number one. Absolutely.
And I agree with that. I'm buying him. Emeka Mbuka is going to be a first round draft pick in fantasy football for the next 5 to 7 years, man. That kid is unbelievable. He has it. He has it.
Yes.
And what helps him too is he's got an offense and a quarterback that gets him the football and just kind of lets him throws it up there, make a play.
Yep.
You get these quarterbacks that have to make this perfect pass and have to try to make it a perfect shot, and they end up missing and it ends up being a disaster.
Yep.
Baker just kind of lays it up there and said, "Dude, go make me a play," and he's been phenomenal. So yes, guys, Emeka Mbuka, if you can go out and trade for him,
Get him.
or remember for next year in your draft, first round, he
Get him.
is going to be a top 5 wide receiver in this league. Amazing. I love him. Um, I'm going to revisit my little rant about the Falcons here because is the Penix hype over? Are you buying um, Penix being overhyped there in Atlanta?
Absolutely. I mean, it was like I said 2 weeks ago when you said about Omarion Hampton and Ashton Genty. Once again, I don't feel sorry. I have empathy, but no sympathy. They put that man on a daggum pedestal. They knew good and well what they did. They didn't know nothing about this man. They just knew what he'd done in Washington. That's what they knew. I mean, Atlanta didn't even know what they were doing. They paid Kirk Cousins all that money and then draft this man out of nowhere. Don't even know what they're doing on the
Mm,
offense. And I'm
yeah.
sitting here like, okay. Then Kirk Cochains, he comes in the game, which was crazy. He came in the game,
Yeah,
and
but mop
I'm
up
like,
duty.
right. I mean, for real,
Mop up duty.
it was trash time. He coming in at garbage time, like in the NBA garbage time. That's when he came in. He knew it was a wrap. And they put that man on the pedestal. First of all, before you put somebody on the pedestal, you got to ask that man, can you play? I mean, you got to ask him a question like, gee, I don't know. Can you throw the ball? Can you? And I mean, no disrespect to Michael Penix Jr., no disrespect to him. But when you put him in a situation and it's a failing situation, number one, you put him in a sinking ship and tell the man to sail the boat. Bro, you can't do that because, and I don't think it's necessarily a Michael Penix Jr. problem that he can't play the game of football. It's just the fact of who is coaching him and what he's doing. He's got all these weapons. This young man has guys who can pour the ball to. They don't know what they're doing with Bijan Robinson. They have no idea what to do with that young man. And if I were him, I'd get out.
Crazy.
I would go.
Crazy.
That's Atlanta. Shame on Atlanta. They drafted very, very well to not use these players. Shame on them. I'm absolutely buying the fact that he is overhyped. Yes.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you about Atlanta not knowing what I mean, handing the ball off to a running back is not rocket science.
No.
Pull to the left, pull to the right, pull the guard, pull the tight end. I mean, something. You have an all-world running back. But anyway,
Right.
Michael Penix. But we got to remember, Michael Penix only started a few games last year, sat behind Kirk Cousins. He's still a rookie. He's only 3 games in.
Right.
I'm not going to kill him yet.
No.
Because, again, I have to blame the Falcons more than I have to blame him because he's not the one calling the plays.
No.
He's just following direction. And when you're given the wrong directions, you end up in a lake. So right now, he's in the lake. He went off the road. So Atlanta needs to steer the ship a little bit better. I think they need to work on their offensive. I mean, dude, copy somebody. This is a copycat league. I mean, don't try to be cute. Go out there and copy, some of the high-power offenses out there. I mean, at least do something. But I think I'm not selling on Penix just yet. Still young, still has some talent. They just got to get their playmakers the ball. They're not giving it to Bijan. They're not giving it to Drake London. Kyle Pitts here and there, he's still kind of all over the place. So you got to get this guy focused, get him some easier passes. Don't have him, chucking the ball down the field or doing some of these weird routes where, he's going to get sacked. So to me, again, I think it's more Atlanta's fault. And that's why I'm always leery with starting quarterbacks because Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix last year spoiled everybody. Those 2 rookies came out and had phenomenal seasons. So now everybody's like, oh, we're going to have the next guy. We're going to have the next big thing. So let's give them a little bit of time. I want to see some improvement from Atlanta this week. I think the next couple of weeks are going to be a tall tale sign. If they can start using the weapons they have, I think Penix is going to be okay. But the jury's out. We'll see what happens. Quinshon Judikins. You talk about pulling a guy off the street. Street clothes. Just pull him off the street. Here's the ball. He has a halfway decent first game. Not bad second game. Taking over the number 1 position, of course, in Cleveland, which is needed because the Cleveland Browns need it. They need someone to cheer for. They need an offensive weapon. Do you think he's going to be the next big RB1?
Oh, I'm buying this. And the reason why I'm buying it is because of the way Cleveland plays football. They have a very good defense. And
number 1 defense in the league.
Yes. And when you have a good defense like that, how you going to feed off that defense? Run the football. Be physical. So, hey, why not do it? Joe Flacco is long in the tooth. It's about that time for him to sit. And you're still figuring out who's going to be his predecessor. Are you wanting Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders? Who have you got? The field. Someone. And while you're figuring that out, just tell Flacco, be like Trent Dilfer was with that Ravens team that won the Super Bowl. Don't get cute. Don't be foolish. Make the right plays. Hand the ball off. And Flacco will do that. I mean, he knows the game. He's played the game for a long time. And so I think that he will do that. And I think he knows his role. Let that young man run. Let that young man get used, unlike what they're doing in Atlanta. Let that young man run the football. So I'm buying it.
He's got them fresh legs. And I agree with you. You hit the nail on the head, man. Again, the recipe is there. That Ravens team you talked about with Trent Dilfer, manage the game. Don't give it away. Throw the ball 15-ish times, hand the ball off, and let the defense eat. That defense is ridiculous right now. They are shutting guys down. So if you keep the games close like they have been the last few weeks, you get a good run, you get a field goal, you can win the game. So, but I like Judikins. I think moving forward, he's going to be a top running back. I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick. I can see him game 3, game 4, really getting his legs under him. I think he's going to be something special. He's going to be someone to watch there in Cleveland. So, guys, if you can now, maybe his value is not up there, go out and see if you can trade for him, because I have a feeling when he pops, it's going to pop pretty good. Because again, Cleveland is probably one of the best fan bases um, for any of their sports in that town, and they love the Browns. As bad as they have been, as bad, just they've had 157 different quarterbacks at the position over the past 20 years.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Starting with, I think, what, Tim Couch, and then you just go
Tim
all the way.
Couch.
Oh my
Oh,
god! So
wow.
you go
Tim
back 32
Couch.
years or whatever it is,
Woo!
and I mean, I think Vinny Testaverde ain't walking through that door again.
Woo!
Um,
Ooh.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
Vinny. Not
but
Vinny.
they need, that fan base has been dying to cheer for someone, and if Judikins can get past the off-field stuff,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
focused, and really run the rock and get beloved by that city, dude, watch it. I mean, you talk about, they haven't had I mean, Nick Chubb was loved there too. It was hard for
Yes.
him to go, but of course the injuries. But um, you're talking about Jim Brown being a Brownie. So I mean, there's a lot of great running back history for the Cleveland Browns. Ozzie Newsome.
Yep.
No, not Ozzie. Yep, so I mean, if he can do big things in Cleveland, he's going to go bananas. So guys, RB1, watch it, Judikins.
Oh,
All right,
yes.
final buy or sell here. We got Caleb Williams. We got Daniel Indiana Jones. We got Drake May balling out pretty good. Which young gun right now would you take on your fantasy team? So if you had to redraft right now and you had one of these guys to pick to be your starting quarterback, who are you buying and who guys are you selling?
Surprisingly, I'm going to take Caleb Williams, I believe. As far as fantasy quarterbacks go, my man's putting up numbers every week, and you can't go wrong with Caleb Williams. I mean, this is a fantasy football show, and that's like the only time I'm ever going to coincide with Caleb Williams, because when it comes down to actually leading my team to win, I don't think so. But when it comes down to fantasy now, and no knock to Danny Dimes, even though he played for Duke, and I let that go when he got drafted, and then my man Drake Mays, the Carolina guy. I mean, Danny Dimes has actually got some people that can actually coach him, it seems, or either he's listening. I don't know what it is. It's probably a mixture of the two. And Drake May is so young, and he's actually getting coached as well too. I mean, Mike Vrabel over there, former a Patriot. Loves the Patriots. That's what he did. That's his place. That's where he made his money. And so, of course,
Right.
he's going to put his whole heart in it. And Drake is an upstart player, but Caleb Williams, on the other hand, he's got Ben Johnson, the mad scientist, on offense handling biz. They torched the Cowboys this week. He had a Fran Tarkenton game, man. My man had a Fran
Woo!
Tarkenton game. 4 touchdowns. My man was getting it. I said,
They
"Whoa,
did it, a flea flicker, the whole bit. I mean,
yes,
that was
yes."
great,
I'm like,
great.
man, where is this? Like, where is this? And so,
Yeah,
yeah, I got to go with Caleb on that one. Go ahead and give me Caleb Williams.
and I have to agree with you. Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, whatever you want to call him, Daniel Jones. I think it's a great story right now. Um, just to bounce back to be essentially discarded and
Yeah,
literally thrown in the trash
right.
to come out. You weren't even essentially picked the starter. Your starter fell on his face, unfortunately, with A Rich.
Hate it.
To come out and do what he's done to
Whew,
lead that offense,
whew.
phenomenal. Disney movie. Just get the Disney movie going. If he gets them to the playoffs, let's go. Zach
Okay.
Efron, or you got to find someone taller. So you got to find Chris Sargent or whatever. You got to find someone tall.
Oh.
But Caleb Williams impressed me this weekend. I think with a new coaching staff, a new offensive playbook. Um, he didn't really have a really good coaching staff last year.
No,
I don't think he was coached
no.
up at all. The first two games were kind of the trial games, and then this game this weekend, with some of the specialty plays that they were running for Caleb Williams, and he handled it perfectly.
Oh yeah.
His teammates handled it. I love Roma Dunze. I think again
Woo.
number one wide receiver in the league pretty soon. Watch it.
Oh
They
yeah.
have weapons, but they have good play calling and
They
it's
do.
working. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm buying Caleb Williams right now too. Drake May, he still has a little bit of work to do. He doesn't have as many weapons, and they're not as, I would say, dynamic of an offense. They're a little more vanilla.
Right.
Whereas those Bears, I think, are going to be kind of, lion esque in a lot what they do. I think they're Swift. He's okay, but I think they're a running back away from kind of being like Detroit, but man, they have some wide receiver weapons, and Caleb Williams is getting the guys the ball.
Oh
That
yeah.
is very important because you can throw the ball down the field all you want. If you ain't hitting nobody, you ain't scoring nothing. So
Absolutely.
he is doing absolutely amazing with the little fingernail polishing in there, flame d'amour, with the fingernail polish. So
Oh yeah.
if he keeps balling out, how many guys in high school are you going to see out there with fingernail polish, like some neon stuff? So you're going to be able
Absolutely.
to watch them throw. It's going to happen. So
Oh
it's coming. Watch out. He going to have his own line of fingernail
yeah.
polish. It's coming out
Oh yeah.
now.
Oh
So,
yeah. If
but I
Rome is
like that.
burning, if Rome is
Woo.
burning, then he is Nero. So
Well,
definitely.
he got Rome. So, and I love me some Rome. So, like
Oh yeah.
Caleb Williams, keep chucking that rock, baby. Keep putting the fingernail. I don't care what you do. Toenail,
And
fingernail,
do
go
it.
for it. Little eyeliner, don't matter to me, brother. Get down there, throw the ball to Roma Dunez because I got him in all my leagues. I think he's an awesome player. So keep it going.
Mhm.
So now we're going to get into. Let's take a little deep breath. We've talked about a lot already. We're going to
Yeah.
get into some more. So now we're getting into week 4,
Oh yeah.
a new hope. And as a Giants fan, I have to have some hope because, of course, now the Jackson Dart era is going to start,
Woo!
and I want to talk about that real quick because now you talk about the draft coming back here to kind of either haunt us or help us, but now you're going to have Jackson Dart, your starting quarterback. Mr. Russ has been regulated. Um, you have Bo Scadaboo is now going to be your starting running back. Tyrone Tracy injured, which get well soon, man. I hate seeing that injured. I was hoping for like the dual thunder and lightning kind of running back. I really like that. I like what they're doing in Detroit. I think New York could have done that with Tracy and Scadaboo. But now
Mhm.
you have two starting guys. Now, what are your thoughts on both of these fantasy football wise moving forward? Can you think Dart can get Neighbors the ball? And do you think Scatterbo can be a number one running back?
I think Dart can get the ball. I think he can. My man can ball. He could throw it when he was at Ole Miss. It was only a matter of time. Everybody been talking about, when is he going to come in? Waiting for Russ to kind of fall on his face, which, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And Russ didn't help it by falling on his face. So, he didn't help that. And I like what Jackson Dart. I think it's a tad early for him, but you know what? When the fans call, and New York is tough, like playing in front of New York. New York fans are tough. Looking at you, Sandy B. I mean, really, that's what I look at. But Cam, oh my God, I love this dude. I love Cam. The way he ran the ball. That is how you run the football.
Angry running.
Now mind you, it is old school, and there are people that don't understand that. But that's the football we grew up with. That's what we saw. We saw
Earl
Earl
Campbell just
Campbell,
running people over, trucking.
yes,
He's
Mike
going to be
Allstott,
trucking.
Mike Allstott, Bo Jackson, Hampton,
And
Rodney
Brandon
Hampton,
Jacobs, another New York Giant. Brandon
Brandon
Jacobs just
Jacobs. I
run
mean,
people over, man. Whew.
yes, I mean we had guys that ran the football like that back in the days. It's coming back. I think honestly, this might be a surge in the running game being relevant back in football again. I know it's a passing league. I know passing and the vertical pass puts butts in seats and does well for fantasy owners. I get it.
Right.
But man, just how Cam was running the ball. It was earth shattering the way he was running the ball. And I loved it.
I love it too, and I am excited as a Giants fan. I hate the fact that we had to put Jackson Dart in this early. I preached that earlier
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
I like it better when the rookies sit back and watch. I don't
Right.
like them thrown to the fire.
Right.
Unfortunately, you have a let's call it what it is. You got a lame duck coach that's essentially just trying to really save. Well, his job is done. I think he's done in New York at the end of the year, no matter what. I think he's just, it's whether he gets fired now or whether he gets
Right.
fired at the end of the year. So I think
Prolonging
he's
it.
just, I think he's just stretching it out a little bit. He's got a
Right.
little, so this is a little bit of a desperate move for him. I just hope Dart doesn't get hurt. Knock on
Yeah.
wood. I think he's got it. I think he's got the swagger and the moxie. Play calling to me is a concern. That offensive coordinator and that offensive line, a little suspect. I think he can get the ball down the field. When it comes to fantasy football points, guys, if you can pick him up, put him on your bench. If you can kind of get him in dynasty and put him on your bench, let's see what he does the next couple of weeks as a starting quarterback. I think he has the potential to get you some points, but that remains to be seen if they're going to like unleash him and let him get the ball down the field. But Cam, right out the gate, put him in your lineup right now.
Oh yeah.
Cam Scatterbo. He's going to be the number one running back. He is a monster. I think people are going to have a rough time trying to tackle him. He gets into that second, third level, man. I don't know, a safety, a corner. Those guys are not going to want to tackle. It's like Derrick Henry. You don't want to tackle him straight on. They're going to try to olay him, and he's just going to run through people because he loves contact. So, as a Giants fan, I'm excited, guys. Fantasy football wise, I like Scatterbo. Dart, let's see what he does this weekend and go from there. So, but we're going to jump into this week. I love this portion of the show because everybody wants to know who to start and who to sit. So, Mr. Shannon, give me your starts. Who are you in love with and wanting to start this weekend?
Now, first of all, who I'm in love with at the quarterback is Jordan Love. He's playing the Dallas
love.
Cowboys. He's playing the Dallas Cowboys. And let me just say, I don't care if it's Jordan Love. I love Lucy. Where's the love? Don't matter. Start Jordan Love against the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm tempted to start him because he's on my team. I'm tempted to start him against the Dallas Cowboys as well. Of course, this is a very, very bad blood game because Micah Parsons is coming back to Big D, to the Jerry Dome.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you what.
And the Packers fans travel well.
Oh, so absolutely. Yes.
The cheese will be flowing in Big D.
They cannot wait. That better be the game of the week. It better be. If it ain't, I'm going to be angry because Lord have mercy. This is what they've been waiting for. So start Jordan Love at the quarterback position. I think I'm going to start him this week. Lamar Jackson, he's got a good matchup this week, but I don't know. Something tells me put Jordan Love up in there. I'm probably going to put him in there probably Sunday morning before I go to church. But more than likely, I can't do it now. But I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait before I go to church, 11 o'clock service, you feel me, about 10:45. When I pull in the parking lot, I might get the phone out, you know what I'm saying? Handle biz. But yes, Jordan Love. Devontae Adams at receiver. Go ahead and start Devontae Adams because of the way that Matthew Stafford is spreading the ball.
Yep.
I mean, he's getting Puka the ball. He's getting Devontae Adams the ball. It is insane the way this offense is. This Rams team scares me as a 49ers fan because Lord have mercy. And Matthew Stafford still gets slept on at a quarterback position. He still gets slept on, man. My man won a Super Bowl.
Right.
And he can ball. I mean, so
Devontae's never had never been a number two and never had a number one. He's always been the number one. He's always been doubled. So you got guys, you got to watch Puka. I mean, he's a monster. Yeah. He's eating. And Devontae Adams, because I think Stafford loves chucking the ball down the field to him because he's still an unbelievable talent, man. He is eating.
Absolutely. But also, too, if you don't have Devontae Adams, start Ricky Pearsall against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Purdy may be back in this game. And so if Brock Purdy is in, go ahead and give it to Ricky Pearsall. I think he is him. He has emerged as a number one with the injuries that have happened. And Lord have mercy, my guys are a mass unit. But man, I mean, whenever they said, what else can go wrong? It was not a dare for my San Francisco 49ers. It was not a dare. Lord have mercy. Stop. Floodgates. It's enough. But yes, play Ricky Pearsall at receiver. Tight end, Tucker Kraft. against this Dallas Cowboy offense, or this
Yep.
Dallas Cowboy defense. Go ahead and start Tucker
I
Kraft
like
as
that. I
well
like that.
too. Yeah, starting him, but also too. I don't make this mistake. Now, mind you, I'm glad that Mark Andrews actually had a sighting. There was a Mark Andrews sighting, and there was a big
Yeah.
sighting of Mark
Yeah.
Andrews because, Lord, I started him over Hunter Henry, but start Hunter Henry against the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, put Hunter Henry in there, and then and that running back, J.K. Dobbins, put him in the game running the football. Those are my starts.
I like it, man. Those are some great, great starts, man. Yeah, I don't think anybody on there is not going to have a good week. I would be very, very surprised. Uh, yeah, I love it because especially Jordan Love, man. I think that's going to be an interesting game here. Let me throw mine up here real quick because I'm going to throw mine. I'm going to start Marcus Mariota. I did a reel, guys, this past week with Jaden Daniels being out. Marcus Mariota in spot starts last year scored some great points for you. He can run the football. He can throw the football. He had a really, really good week, solid performance this week. So I'm liking Marcus Mariota. Yeah, I'm going to start him because that team actually plays well with him, and they need him too. Especially, I think Terry McLaurin's going to be out in this game too, so this is going to be tough. But you have some love, and I got to throw Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? So I got to throw some love. So I am starting Romeo Dobbs. I think that's going to be a huge matchup for against those Dallas Cowboys. So Romeo Dobbs with Jordan Love, Romeo Love. It just kind of goes together. It sounds beautiful. So I think those guys are going to have a monster game this weekend. So I like Romeo Dobbs at the at the wide receiver position. And of course, I got to get him because I'm just in love with this dude right now. Cam Scatterbo, you got to throw him out there. He's going against the Chargers. It's going to be rough, but with Jackson Dart being new, they're going to
Yeah.
run the football. I think they're going to be really, really committed to the football. I know Singletary's probably going to get in there. They may do some specialty things, but screen passes and running the football, Cam
Yes.
Scatterbo is going to be eating a lot Sunday. So start Cam. I love him. I think you will not be sorry. He's going to pop and have a big, big game. And then to help out Marcus Mariota, again, Terry McLaurin being out, Zach Ertz at that tight end position. Mariota is going to need that short dump off. Zach Ertz has kind of showed up the last few games. I think he's really going to need him with no scary Terry. Pick up Debo if you can. Maybe throw Debo in there. I think they're going to be a lot there. And then Luke McCaffrey for the Washington Commanders is also going to be out there too, catching passes a lot because again, with no scary Terry, they're going to need to throw the balls to somebody. That running game is a little suspect. I like Bill a little bit, but I mean, they need to throw the ball, and I think Zach Ertz is going to have himself a good. I can see him having a couple of touchdowns this weekend. So, give me Zach Ertz. He had a little bit of a quiet game against Las Vegas, but I think he's going to bounce back and have a really, really big game. So, those are my starts. Now, we all like to start, but there's always those guys on your team that are like, I don't know about him. So, who you sitting right now?
All right. So with the quarterback position, I'm sitting Dak Prescott against
Oh,
this Green Bay defense
oh,
here. I really think that with the way that the offense is going to play with Green Bay, that means the defense is probably going to be on the field a lot. So I don't really see Dak Prescott being on the field a lot because of what's going to be coming at him. You know they're going to send Micah Parsons his way.
Number
You know
one
they're going
coming,
to.
just
You
number one.
know. You
Oh,
know.
oh,
You got to. Why not? So,
Jerry, Jerry,
right.
number one's coming.
Yes. When a whole fan base is chanting, "Thank you, Jerry," man, that is insane.
I
That
love
that
it.
is the greatest middle finger in all of sports this year. This is the biggest sports middle finger of
I love
this
it.
year,
Love
hands
it.
down. So do not play Dak Prescott this week. At the running back position, don't play Travis Etienne against my San Francisco 49er defense. Do not. Because my man, Fred Warner, going to handle biz. I know Nick Bosa's out for the season, and once again, it's heartbreaking. But Fred Warner, one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL right now. And Robert Saleh is having a second childhood with this defense. So please do not play Travis Etienne against my San Francisco 49ers. And do not play George Pickens against this Green Bay defense. Do not play him neither, because once again, in the Jerry Dome, I don't think so. With Micah Parsons, those guys right there on the defense, it's going to be tough for the Dallas Cowboys this week. And this is talking to me right here, looking at you, Podcast Smitty. Do not play Mark Andrews at the tight end position. I know he had a big game. I know he did. He almost, I was scared at first because I was like, man, I'm going to regret not playing Hunter Henry because I saw how he was playing. But he almost beat Crow 27 points. But I'm saying don't do it because I think it might be a one-time only thing. I hope not, but we will see. Because the way that the ball is being thrown right now by Lamar Jackson, I think next week will be better to play him than this week. But also, too, I got him honorable mention at the receiver spot of do not playing, and that's Stephon Diggs. Do not play Stephon Diggs because I think this Panther defense might have gotten their heads out of their butts. Maybe. But they're also playing a young quarterback. They can get to the ball. I think that they've done a great job of stopping number ones. Like they stopped Marvin Harrison Jr. The week before. And nobody threw the. Atlanta didn't even get past the 30-yard line.
Crazy.
At all. And you, from a Panthers defense?
Yeah.
I mean,
Donut.
Mike Rucker, Mike Minner, Captain Mutterland, Ricky Manning Jr., all those guys are not walking through the door. But I'm going to tell you what, right now, they paid a lot of money to my man from South Carolina to lock everybody down, and he has. Him, Mike Jackson, J.C. Horn's been locking everybody down. Mike Jackson handling his biz on the other side. I don't play Stephon Diggs. I don't think it's going to happen this week, guys.
I hear you. I like that. I like that too. And yeah, this Cowboys game, not to beat up on you here, Mr. Michael Davis. We love you, man, from broadcasting president. Much love. Trust me, as a Giants fan, it's a little rough right now. But man, Micah Parsons, I don't care if he plays another down of football for the rest of his life. This game, he wants to destroy everything in front of him in Jerry's world. He wants to sack Dak Prescott and just stare right at that owner's box. Just look and give him mean mug. I think Jerry is going to be out by the third quarter. I think he's going to sneak away from the owner's box because the boo birds. And then what's the over under on punches thrown by George Pickens this weekend? I got at least 3. I got to throw at least 3 punches. I mean, 1, 2, and maybe a jab. But because I think that defense is going to frustrate him. Because that's the one thing with unfortunately that's the bad thing about George Pickens is he gets in his own way.
Absolutely.
And if you go out there and dog him and really mess with him, he starts doing stupid shit. So
absolutely,
I like him. I like it, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So my sits. I got some big names on here too. So guys, sit down and relax for a second here. But I'm going to explain. You're going to sit right now. You got to sit Jared Goff. Jared Goff has had some good games, but points wise, he really hasn't. Against really good defenses, against Green Bay, he only had 11 points, almost 12 points. Even against the Ravens, he only had a little over 12 points, even in that big game, because his running game does it all for him. He's going against the number 1 defense in Cleveland right now, and they're only giving up about 15 points per quarterback in fantasy football right now. So Jared Goff, I think, is going to have a really, really rough game. I think this is going to be a ground and pound game. I think they're going to rely heavily on the running backs. If anything, maybe short passes, but I'm sitting Jared Goff against that Cleveland defense because that defense is legit. Myles Garrett is going to be the defensive player of the year, man. Watch out in Cleveland. So making noise. My wide receiver, Jamar Chase. Guys, I hate saying that. It's bananas to even think that right now. But who's throwing him the ball?
John Brown.
Somebody. Jake, John,
Someone.
George, Fred Brown. I don't know. You just whoever you got. He's really got no one throwing him the ball. He had one big game, but only 4.6 points against Cleveland,
No.
8.9 points against Minnesota. So again,
No.
against good defenses, they are getting shut down, and they're going against Denver, which is
Forget
not
about
a
it.
slouch defense, and their shutdown corners are going to wreak havoc. So I don't like Higgins. I don't like Jamar Chase. I think it's again, if you would have told me this time last year,
Nah.
Jamar Chase is going to be sitting on your bench by week 4. I would have called you a liar, but man, it's going to be rough. I mean, throw him out there, but don't expect double-digit points from him. I think it's going to be a struggle, and I wonder if the mentality of him, oh man, why did I stay? Maybe I need to be traded, kind of deal. Uh, with all the drama, that's been going on in Cincinnati, I'm a little afraid. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he's that kind of player. But you can only get hit in the face so many times. So I'm sitting Jamar Chase. Jalen Warren against that Minnesota defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a rough time. Ron, I wouldn't start him. I don't like really anybody on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense right now. I mean, you got DK Metcalf, but I think it's going to be really tough. That Minnesota defense is legit too. So watch out. I think Jalen Warren's going to have a rough game. So do not start him. And yeah, not to pile up on the Cowboys, man, but yeah, Jake Ferguson, tight end. No, Green Bay's going to eat him up. He's going to be. I don't even think they're going to get close to getting him the ball because Dak Prescott is going to be under so much pressure. I literally think Green Bay is going to blitz every down.
They better. They better.
Just run them over. I think they're going to just beat them up into submission. And again, the cheeseheads do travel well, so get your kielbasa and your cheese ready there in Big D because it's coming, baby. It's coming. So I'm sitting Jake Ferguson. So crazy, man. Even again, some of those guys to even talk about that. So madness. This is why I love fantasy football, man. We're here in almost week 4 and just all the craziness going on. You would never think this the start of week 1. We all come in with such high hopes and such big dreams, and then they all come crashing down, and then we got to try to scramble and figure it out. So, you're jumping on the waiver wire. You're trying to find anybody you can. You're making quarterback. We got injuries out there going crazy right now. CeeDee Lamb is going to be out multiple weeks here with that really nasty ankle sprain. Again, what is he doing running the football like that?
Right.
Dumb plays.
Why?
That's just Cowboys doing Cowboy things. So we definitely have a lot of injuries out there. Again, Terry McLaurin being injured, so watch out for that. Jaden Daniels still not in there. So you got a lot of injuries floating around out there, guys. So hit the waiver wire hard. And again, it's just the time to trade. Get your guys that have value and go out there and start shopping around because there may be a team that may be a little desperate that has a superstar that you may be able to get for a couple of smaller pieces. So, go make some moves out there, guys. Go make some moves. So now we've had a pretty long show, getting a little tired. So it's time to hit that sleep. It's kind of hit that snooze button a little bit and maybe just we'll talk a little bit more football, but give me your sleepers of the week here, Mr. Schmitty. Who do you got sleeping? Nobody should sleep on right now.
Don't sleep on C.J. Stroud against Tennessee. I think that'll be a wake-up game for Houston, for the Houston quarterback. I think it will be. It's okay to pick on the little brother and be a bully every now and then, and I think that they can do that when they can do the number for them. And also, too, Michael Pittman Jr. He's done some things for me on my team. And I think that he will do very, very well. He had close to 20 points this week. I think playing him, I know don't play Danny Dimes. I mean, you said not to play Danny Dimes, but that don't mean you got to sit as receiver. Pittman Jr. has been handling some biz at the receiver spot. And also still play David Montgomery because once again, you said you hit the nail right on the head. The running game is going to handle biz. And they got to
Yeah.
run the football, especially with this squad right here. They have to run the football because with them playing the Cleveland squad that is that is upstart on the defensive side of the ball,
Yeah.
you're not going to be passing the ball like crazy. You're not going to be spreading the ball like that. Go ahead and run that football. Go ahead and stick it to them with the running game. Do a little bit. Take a page out of their book. Run
Right.
the football. Give it to your defense. Let your defense handle biz. Don't think you got to score 50 points a game every single time. Hit that defense in the mouth, and that dog will hunt. And also too, AJ Barner. Play AJ Barner at
I
the
like
tight
that.
end as well too. I couldn't get him, sadly, because I'm still fixated on my tight ends right now because I'm hoping that Mark Andrews kind of turns it around, but Hunter Henry has not been able to miss. But I think AJ Barner might be a tight end you might want to pay a little bit of attention to. He might. I think he is on waivers in the Boom League. I think he might be. Last time I checked, he might
I think
be.
so.
But go ahead and nab him if you got the chance, because tomorrow's coming up. Everything's gonna reset. Get it in there before 12 a.m. tonight. You
Yep.
might get him. So yeah, go ahead and handle biz. Get you AJ Barner at the tight end spot.
I like it, man. And I like CJ Stroud too. He needs a get right game. That
He does.
Tennessee Texans team has come out very flat, especially after the last couple of years. We
Yeah.
know CJ had a little bit of a sophomore slump. We were hoping for a bounce back year this year. They started off slow. So they need to really not just win this game, but they need to perform well to have some
Yes.
confidence moving forward. Because I don't see a confident team out there right now. They look a little shell shocked. So, but I like those. That's good. Good sleepers, man. You can sleep easy with those guys. So let me give you some of mine. My
Yo.
first, you guys. I said I really don't want to start any, but you know what? Jackson Dart. Let's throw him out there because I smell lightning in a bottle. And just because they're playing the Chargers, yes, I said that. Lightning in a bottle is coming because nothing is more dangerous than a cornered dog. And right
True.
now, the Giants are cornered
Yes.
dogs. So they are being questioned. They are being ridiculed. They're being beat up in the New York press. So Jackson Dart, they put him out there. Um, they need to just unleash him. Jackson, go out there and just play college football. Just go out there, throw the rock, because win or lose, we got nothing to lose. So
No.
I'm not sleeping on Jackson Dart, man. I'm hoping for something big, and I smell something big. Nick Chubb. So again, we talked about that Texans team. I like Nick Chubb against the Tennessee Titans. They need him to get the ball rolling. CJ Stroud cannot get the ball down the field to Nico Collins without a decent run game. And
Definitely.
they're going to rely heavily on Nick Chubb. So I think Nick Chubb's going to get some points, and I think he's going to be used a lot this weekend. So don't sleep on Mr. Chubb. Matthew Golden has kind of started to emerge. He's starting to blossom a little bit. Now that Reed's hurt there in Green Bay, I think the hierarchy of the wide receivers are starting to shake out a little bit here with Wicks and some of the other guys with Romeo out there. But Matthew Golden getting a little bit of a swagger. Of course, when he was drafted, big old, howdy do that he did on stage there. But he's starting to come around. So I like Matthew Golden this weekend. Again, going against that Dallas defense, but Jordan Love needs that second guy to fall in love with. And I think he's fallen in love with some Matthew Golden because, when you're in love, everything is golden. And then Jacksonville, man, Brian Thomas Jr. is not doing anything. Travis Hunter, he's spotty here and there. Run game suspect. So, I mean, steady Trevor, Mr. Trevor Lawrence, you got to get the ball to somebody. But tight end wise, Brenton Strange, his targets have been increasing every week so far. So if you need to find yourself a tight end to throw somebody out there, I think he's becoming a little more of a safety valve for my man there in Jacksonville and Duval. So Brenton Strange, I like him this weekend. They are going to need him. They're going against San Fran. So again, that is a tough defense. So I don't think they're going to be able to get the ball down the field as much as they're going to want to. I think it's going to be a lot of short passes and a lot of dump offs. So I like strange this weekend. A lot of strange things going on here in fantasy football so far to start off this year, man. But nothing is strange about my man, Mr. Podcast Smitty. Tell them where they can find you, sir.
Definitely find me here on Boom Broadcasting. Also find me on Tobacco Sports Radio's YouTube channel, talking Carolina Panthers football. We got a dub this week, so we gonna be talking a little bit of junk on Thursday. Gonna be talking about the game, getting ourselves ready for the New England Patriots. Says they gotta go travel to Foxborough. Gotta go on the road after a good win at home, a home opening win, and then on Friday, catch me here, Boom Broadcasting with quick hits. Gonna be talking about some WNBA action. We had some coaching. We had some coaching changes. Got to talk
Yeah.
about these coaches. And man, let me tell you what, a big surprise with Sandy B getting let go of by the New York Liberty. Noel Quinn getting let go of by the Seattle Storm. Talking about round one. Then we're going to go into round two, what to expect for the weekend. Will the Minnesota Lynx sweep? Will the Las Vegas Aces get upset? I'm going to give you a little bit of why this is probably going to happen. We will see on Friday. And as always, I'm Shannon Smith, and this is Quick Hits.
I love it, man. I love you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. A lot of fun, guys. Guys, again, drop me a line, hit me comments, let me know how you're doing in your fantasy. If you got some questions, drop us some questions. I have no problem answering here on this show. So thank you very much for joining me again. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. we drop, but you can catch it at any time on the Boom Broadcasting Network because we are on demand. You can watch it at any time. It's great stuff, guys. So thank you very much. Guys, hit that waiver wire hard. Go out and make some trades, set your lineups, and go out and win your week. Love. Peace, guys.